Hello from Southern Ontario. It's Tuesday, July 16th. So, the recent events in Pennsylvania, and we all know by now who Thomas Crook is, the young 20-year-old individual who was on the rooftop. Complex subject. Anyways, we see American style politics, as expressed by the left, creeping into Canada. And that's a bad thing, right? What did Biden say in one of his talks against Trump? Trump is a threat to the republic's democracy. Here in Canada, we've seen many times and many instances, as Trudeau flits around the world, saying that populist or populism, right-wing politics are a danger and a threat to democracy. Well, now, I've never seen this kind of stuff before in my lifetime. In Canada, anyways, we voted, I'll just say liberal or conservative, on the issues of the day, whatever day, year, election that was. This whole ABC, anything but conservatives mentality, is where I'm going to. But let's step back a moment. By now, you may have well seen, I don't know if it's in the mainstream media, but it certainly is in the independent media and on social media, the two university professors, one from UBC, University of British Columbia, and one from the University of Guelph here in Ontario, both world-renowned institutions. They're not diploma mills, colleges for student visas, right? So now, I'm not going to name either of the two women who made nor quote their statements verbatim, but the gist of what both of these women said was, shame the projectile didn't land on its intended target. I think I can probably get away with saying that. Which now brings me to my point. I saw an interview with one of Thomas Crook's former classmates, and the former classmate had said Crook was always a loner, and listed as an example, one day the high school teacher had said, everybody who's on one side of the political spectrum, go stand on that side of the classroom, and everybody who's on the other side of the political spectrum, go stand on the other side. And this former classmate said that Crook was the only one who stood on the one side of the classroom. The rest of the class went to the other side. Now, I'm not sure which, I forget, I can't find the clip again, of course, but I forget whether Crook had stood on the, I'll say, blue or red side of the classroom. I'm not sure, because I do believe he switched political allegiance at one point in time as well. Although, again, don't quote me on that either. I know it sounds messy, but my point is, I can't see every kid in the classroom going to one side and only one student going to the other. It defies the law of averages unless, now I come to my point, the teacher was influencing the class, imposing their political ideologies upon the class. A teacher shouldn't be imposing any ideology, political, religious, sexual. We see an increasing problem with that, but let's just stick to the politics. I remember when I was in high school, if a teacher was popular, perhaps kind of young and hip, the school kids in high school would take to that teacher, and anything they said was cool. It was the word. I don't remember any political ideology as such, but you see my point. Teachers influencing. And back to the two women at the universities here, the stuff they tweeted, that's dangerous. Yeah. And again, we see this American style politics creeping into Canada. Well, it's the left that says it's creeping in. And it is creeping in to the mentality of the ABC people, the anything but conservatives. which this is kind of an introductory video towards. In summation, I wonder where the anti-hate network is on all of this. I'll have to go check and see if they've issued a statement. If you're not aware of what the anti-hate network is, Trudeau funds them by $1 million a year, and they were the ones who claimed at the time of Ottawa, the Freedom Convoy, that Jeremy Mackenzie and Diagolon were a far right-wing extremist militia group who had these things attached to our hands. The CBC, government-funded mainstream media, legacy media, ran with that. They later had to make a retraction, and Trudeau and his minions quoted it in Parliament, and to this day it still permeates the mindset of the ABC people, the anything but conservatives. They actually think the fictional parody of Phil, the time-traveling hallucinogen-eating goat in the imaginary country that is not Diagolon, well, is Diagolon, it's a parody. Anyways, kind of rambled my way out of a decent summation there. In the next vid, we'll come to the ABC people here in Canada.